So, what are we doing now? The note says Shmups controversy. Is that a Z?
Yeah, I ran out of room on the card.
What are we doing?
Okay, well, I'm gonna admit something that I'm not too proud of, but it worked out exactly as I planned, so I kind of feel good about it deep inside my groin.
Your loins.
Is basically, I did a little bit of science. I did a test. Because there's something that's been bothering me since April of 2010. You may remember this. Me, you, Captain, and Potato. We all got together and we wanted to play a game that we all wanted to play.
Yeah.
That we all liked.
Yeah.
Remember what that was?
Giggling.
Giggling. Because we all like different genres, we all like different things, but the one thing that we all agreed on was shmups.
Alright.
Ever since then, I've been looking for shmups, looking up shmups, trying to figure out new shmups to buy, and I ran into a lot of things that I wouldn't even slightest bit consider to be a shmup.
Okay.
So, in our salute to shmups, I particularly set up the games we played in a sequential order, where we did Thunder Force, Lightning Force, and what was that called? Steel Empire, right? To establish that these are the classic kind of, you know, safely genre shmup games, right?
Right.
And then we did these two games right here, being Ranger X and Atomic Robo Kid, back to back, after establishing that we knew what the classic shmup formula was.
Sure, yeah.
Now, you were involved with this test, unbeknownst to you, unbeknownst to the world. When we played these two games in our salute to shmups, you said nothing of it. You had no problem with these two games being in that series. Do you now?
Not really.
No?
No.
Would you say that these were shmups?
I would say that they are shmups in the same way that The Legend of Zelda is an RPG.
So you think it would just be like a sub-classification?
Yes. I believe that they would be technically like an action-adventure shmup.
Okay. That's a very good answer. Well, I actually have images from Wikipedia calling these both shmups in their information and their write-up. You know how Wikipedia does it. Now, when researching all this stuff, when I'm looking for stuff like Raiden, like Giggling, and I run into this stuff, it pissed me off.
Sure.
That was controversial to me, and I wanted to see if those guys out there were as particular, as finicky, as pissed off and cynical as I was, and in fact, two of them were. Two of them were. And I'll show you the comments later. And they called me on my shit, which was awesome, but also bad because, you know, they're obviously negative comments, insulting us for including these two games, but
it was an experiment.
I put the bait out there. The proof is all over the internet, calling these two games in particular shmups, and I'll even show you the images. In fact, I'll show the images now. So right now you're looking at the Wikipedia pictures of Wikipedia calling these two games shmups. And yeah, they're not the greatest source of information, but it's the internet. It's generally the information that you will find if you're searching for games. You're going to run into Atomic Robo Kid and Ranger X. They're both good games. I don't regret putting them in the salute to shmups. You obviously didn't give a fuck at all.
No, I thought they were pretty good. I thought it was a good twist.
But where's the end of the line? Because the actual description for shmups on Wikipedia, as I'm actually going to have this up right now so you can read it, actually includes games that are obviously run and guns. Like, what's the difference to you between a shmup, an action shmup, platforming action shmup like these, and a run and gun? What is the barrier?
The main difference?
The main difference.
On rails.
On rails.
Yeah.
So like Contra, you can move...
Contra, I wouldn't consider a shmup. I'd still put it in the action-adventure shmup because you can stay still at points. You can go left or right. You can, you know, the screen's not moving with you, so you're not technically on rails. There is only one way to go, so it's almost like a beat-em-up shmup. more so than it is like an action-adventure shmup or an on-rail shmup.
Those are generally called run and guns.
Run and guns, yeah.
Like Contra, Metal Slug.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is a run and gun. So.
But like a shmup is on rails. I mean, maybe not even technically on rails. You're either going straight left and right or straight up and down, maybe with some diagonal things that guide you somewhere here and there. But technically they're on rails. They're just not 3D. So they're 2D on rails.
Okay. So you would call these action shmups.
Right.
These two right here. Now what makes a shmup to me is not only the amount of bullets you're dodging, or bullets on screen and shooting, it's actually how you can, invade the bullets. In these games, you can fly up, down, left, right. Atomic Robo Kid, you can kind of hover and still move about. With Contra, you jump out, up, you come down. You jump forward, you come down. You don't have that space to invade like you can in these games, which is why I would classify them actually as shmups, if I absolutely had to.
Yeah, I could see that.
But what about games that had static screens, like Space Invaders or Galaga? Would you consider those shmups?
Retro shmups.
Retro shmups.
Yeah.
I don't know if that exists, but hey, putting it out there.
Yeah.
So I didn't include any retro shmups, but the classic formula is obviously, you move left to right, you move up and down, you dodge bullets, you shoot.
Yeah.
So these ones, it's controversial, and that's why I put them in there to see if anyone would care, and 2 people did care. Out of like 47 people who actually watched the series, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You didn't give a fuck.
I like to play games.
So they are in the Salute to Shmups, and they will forever be there till the end of time. That was that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, calling me on my shit. Spike Saturn didn't even care at all. So he's got no excuse.
Nope.
He thinks everything's a shmup.
Everything.
Everything.
Mario World.
Shmup.
Space Harrier is a shmup.
Yeah, well, in the same way that Star Fox would be a shmup.
Star Fox. That's an on-rail shooter.
Okay.
Space Harrier is an on-rail shooter.
Okay, what about Ghost Squad?
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!
Shmup?
Is a shmup.
Shmup?
Yes.
According to Wikipedia.
Street Fighter 3.
Shmup. So there you go. So that was that. And we hope you continue to watch and enjoy. And yes, these were definitely gray area. But you can go ahead and write a fucking angry note to Wikipedia.
Final Fantasy VII is not a shmup. Because it sucks.
Because upon researching for shmups, I ran into these games. So you can be mad with me instead of at me, but you can still be mad at Spike because
Final Fantasy VII isn't a shmup.
Yes, exactly. So
Final Fantasy VIII is.
That you can take. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.